Good afternoon, fellow Patreons. What you see here is the Barbie's 3D animated theater. It can also do Disney doll, so I'd call it maybe the Disney 3D animated theater too. This is one of my new Millennium Toys that allows you to use very large Barbie and Disney dolls that are articulated so that you can animate them like puppets. Right now, this is the Disney princess doll. Actually, it's Rapunzel with the very long hair from the movie Rapunzel. The doll, the articulated doll, is remotely controlled using a VEX Game Controller, which has 2 joysticks on the front as well as 8 push buttons on the front, and then it has 4 push buttons on the back. These all allow you to control various movements of up to 2 dolls on this theater. Theoretically, you could even do 4 dolls if you can use the smaller Disney dolls that are 29-inch high. This doll is 33 inches high. She's, like I said, the Disney Rapunzel doll. In this series of videos, I will describe the function of the 3D animated theater for both Disney and Mattel dolls, including the large Barbie dolls, the Princess Barbie dolls. I will also show you some of the details of its construction. I have written articles that I will be publishing on Patreon on all the steps needed to build your own do-it-yourself 3D animated theater for puppets such as these articulated Disney and Mattel dolls. As you can see, the arms and the head and the waist and the legs have joints. Here you can see the joints on the doll, and all the joints can be tied to control strings that are 6-pound nylon fishing line. This is the same type of fishing line that you use for, casting for fish in both lakes and ocean. I only use a 6-pound line because it has to be clear so that you can't really see the strings from a distance, and because of safety. You don't want to use 40-pound nylon string because it could be dangerous. Like if she got tangled, or if you were working nearby and she accidentally tangled you with the nylon string, you could get injured. This is definitely not a toy for children. It needs to be controlled by adults who know what they're doing. And children, if they're watching, need to be in a safe area away from the stage. The stage is the doll's workspace. The doll really is a robot in this case. What I'm going to demonstrate today is some of its animating capabilities. I'm using the VEX construction system to animate the doll and to also be able to remotely control it using the game controller. I use the VEX Cortex Microcontroller, which is now considered obsolete, but it's a very powerful controller and it works perfectly for this application. And you can find this on eBay for around anywhere from $50 to $75. New, it costs much more than that, but schools aren't using it anymore because it's been around for a few years and now they've upgraded to the new V5 VEX construction system, which uses a different controller and different parts. I'm using the VEX EDR, which is all the metal parts and everything, to build the animation motors and servos, etc. You can see that the nylon string is very hard to see in this video. It really, if you're watching it from a distance, it's almost invisible. This is the same technique that was used in sci-fi movies for special effects and magician tricks, and it's been used on TV a lot because the TV resolution was not that good, so you wouldn't see the strings if the lighting was just right. And it's the same here, but even with higher resolution, this thin nylon string is very good. It's invisible practically, and yet it's strong enough to animate the dolls. You don't need super strong nylon thread, like I said, for safety reasons, but this 6-pound works pretty good, and if the doll gets jammed, then the string breaks, which is a good thing. It's a safety feature. That way the doll doesn't get damaged, or the actuator mechanisms like the VEX motors and servos don't get stripped, and the gears don't get stripped. So it's a very good thing. I would not use anything stronger than that. Presently, I'm only animating the 2 arms as well as 1 wrist. That's all I have hooked up right now. I'm working on animating the 2nd wrist. I do have one of the threads attached to the 2nd wrist. But in order to get the animation going, you either need springs or you need counterweights. I chose, since I didn't have any springs available to me that would work, I chose to use counterweights, which are basically just recycled soup cans filled with either sand or water. Like you fill them halfway, depending on how much force you want. And what they do is they represent the gravitational force of the earth on your limbs. And so they hold the Barbie doll in place. And then I also tied the 2 feet to counterweights. I can also animate the feet, but I haven't done so yet. But right now she's being held firmly to the ground using 2 soup cans full of water, 1 tied to each foot. But if I want to animate it, all I have to do is hook up one of the servos control strings or one of the motor control strings to her feet, and then I can have her foot move or her knee bend, etc. So it's very similar to the old puppets that you saw on TV or at a fair, where the person would use a handle with all these strings to manipulate the doll and control it. Instead of using a handle, I use the VEX Game Controller. So it's sort of a remote handle, so to speak. And the handle in this case is sitting above her. It's a mechanism built from the VEX components, as well as some scrap pieces of metal, that will animate all the joints that I possibly can. I can even make her head turn sideways if I want, or I can make her head move up and down. I haven't done that yet, but that's one of the animations that I'll be working on in the future. I'm pretty sure it'll work because what I'm showing you right now works. So I'm going to show you how she actually will move. And this stage could be used to animate plays, like you could do Love Story, or you could do The Beauty and the Beast with the Disney dolls. Or you could do Rapunzel even, because you have that doll right, they sell that doll. That's the one that you're seeing right now. These dolls can go anywhere from $50 to $70, depending on if you get them on sale. You can buy them at Target or you can buy them at Target and other stores that sell toys. Walmart sells them too. In order to start the animating of the doll, I need to turn on the VEX Cortex controller and the power supply to the motors. Right now I'm using a 9.4 volt power supply, but you can also use the VEX 9.4 volt battery, or you can even use their 7.6 volt battery, which they sell. And these batteries are powerful enough to animate all the motors needed for the 3D animated theater. What you see here is the VEX Game Controller. As I mentioned before, it has the 2 joysticks, as well as 4 push-button switches on the top, and And then it has on the front 4 more push button switches that you can see.